the right time to roll to me, the right time to roll to me, the right time to roll to me.
And can I just thank you as well for saying what lovely music we've had today, and we have, and nice that you noticed it. That was Del Amitri playing me out. You know, I was just saying there about we're finally getting our wood-burning stove in, and Terry's just said to me, bless him, he is a boon, you know. He said, we used to have one of those and we got rid of it. Have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Monday, if we're spared. Can't take anything for granted nowadays. BBC Radio 2, online, on digital, and on 88 to 91 FM.
Now, the BBC News headlines at 7:30. It's emerged that health regulators who've warned an NHS trust in Essex about poor standards of cleanliness gave the same trust a good rating only last month. The Patients' Association says it shows the government's system of health regulation is farcical. Lawyers for a British man who's wanted in America for computer hacking say they'll continue to fight against his extradition. The Home Secretary, Alan Johnson, has said he won't intervene to stop Gary McKinnon, who has Asperger's syndrome, being sent abroad for trial. The Trades Union Congress says there's been a sharp drop in the number of people getting overtime work. It says the manufacturing, transport and communications sectors have been worst affected. Voodoo Child by Jimi Hendrix has
Supertramp taking the scenic route. I'm Richard Allenson. I hope you get well soon, Sarah. Please get well soon, Sarah. Stuart's in for Chris at 5, Steve Wright this afternoon at 2, it's Jeremy at noon, Ken Bruce at 9:30, and next, live from the Springwatch Farm in Devon. Not to be confused with Bill Oddie and Kate Humble. Terry Wogan will be the man armed with a napkin, a knife and a fork, letting a very good bottle of Burgundy breathe. And let's hope he can stop the murders in the moorhen nest by the mink, says Mark in Cambridge. I'm sure he can. Enjoy your day. 88 and 91 FM, it's Radio 2 from the BBC.
The news headlines now, it's 7:30. The Home Secretary, John Reid, wants more paedophiles to be offered drugs to suppress their sex drives. But he's expected to reject calls for families to be told where local child sex offenders are living. The charity Help the Aged says more than a quarter of elderly people think their quality of life has got worse over the past year. More than 1 in 5 say they're living in poverty, 13% are lonely and rarely leave the house. A fourth coroner will take over the inquest into the death of Princess Diana today. Lord Justice Scott Baker will hold a preliminary hearing in London. The Palestinian government appears to be slipping deeper into crisis. There's been more heavy fighting between the Fatah and Hamas militias in Gaza. There's new hope for the 400,000 people who suffer from rheumatoid arthritis in the UK. Scientists say new treatments can slow down the disease's progression and reduce its symptoms, but the drugs are expensive. The weather, persistent rain in northern England will spread into western and southern areas of the UK this afternoon. That's it. More news at 8.
A dashed good morning to you from Fishley Farm near Hatherley, home of Springwatch. Good morning, Johnny.
Good morning, my lord.
And Don Be Shy says, why is Boggy not in the ditch with you this morning with his beard, ample girth and lederhosen? He could easily have given Bill a day off. And his humble aspirations are well known.
80 to 91 FM. Wake up to wogan.
Shift up a bit, Bill. I'm in a wet spot here. Listen, the sound of early morning. Listen, the whippoorwill, the Baltimore oriole, all manner of birds. I'm going to let somebody else say this. In a murky old ditch down in Devon, Sir Terry begins at 7:30, but with Humble and Oddie and several hot toddies, he'll be thinking he's gone to heaven. Well, yes, the hot toddies were last night, I'm afraid, and we dined not wisely but too well. Is that not so, Barrowlands?
That is so.
He can speak. I hope the clay-baked hedgehog went down well for breakfast this morning, says Frank of Stevenage. Looking at the weather forecast last night, it would seem you should be sitting in the midst of torrential rain this morning. Not so. As I look out across the plains and see the wildebeest surging, there is a bright light in the sky that could easily be mistaken for the sun. But it's a lovely morning down here in Devon, so far, and we're having a wonderful time down here on the Spring Watch set. It's like a small town, actually. And the ditch that you've been longing to lay in with Kate and Bill will probably be a duck pond by the end of the show. Still, at least the ducks are happy. Lynn Bowles, Charles Casanova and Boggy Marsh, warm and cosy in the studio. Well, as long as they're all right then. And given the continued success of Springwatch and the fact that no TV channel ever recognises when the expression flogging a dead horse applies, there's no dead horses here. Well, maybe what? Well, is Bill in yet? What about another spin-off series, Togwatch? You could play the part of Bill Oddie, ensuring your laundry costs are kept to a minimum. Yes, he was wearing that shirt last night. And the role of Kate Humble could be filled by Lynn Bowles. She constantly interrupts, never knows when to keep quiet anyway, so the part is made for a look. I'm digging myself a hole in this ditch. Let's hear from the Supremes.
I need love to ease my mind. I need to find someone to call mine. But Mama said you can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. You gotta trust, give it time, no matter how long it takes. But how many heartaches must I stand before I find the love to let me live again? Right now the only thing that keeps me hanging on when I feel my strength, yeah, it's almost gone. I remember Mama said, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game of give and take. How long must I wait? How much more can I take before loneliness will cause my heart to break? No, I can't bear to live my life alone. I grow impatient for love to call my own. But when I feel that I can't go on, these precious words keeps me hanging on. I remember Mama said, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy. It's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. She said trust, give it time, no matter how long it takes. No love don't come easy. But I keep on waiting, anticipating for that soft voice to talk to me at night, for some tender arms to hold me tight. I keep waiting, I keep on waiting, but it ain't easy, it ain't easy. But Mama said you can't hurry love. No, you just have to wait. She said trust, give it time, no matter how long it takes. You can't hurry love. No.
You can't be rushing it, no. Certainly not down here in Devon, in a ditch. Everything has to happen very slowly. I'm delighted to welcome to the old hot microphone here. Listen to the birds song, isn't it lovely here? Can we work here permanently? I mean, I know it's a bit damp, but I'm prepared to suffer. I've got with me two very decent people, Steve and Julie Stannard, who've been up since the crack of dawn. And when I left them, they were still drinking. And that was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I hope the family's not listening to this. Steve and Julie, you're very welcome. Good morning. Good morning to you. And you've come all the way from Worthing to join us. And the reason you're here, of course, is because you donated a ton of money. And I won't embarrass you by saying how much two children in need in the auction for things that money can't buy last November. And thank you for that on behalf of the children, if I may say
That's
so.
okay.
A wonderfully generous gesture. But I know you didn't do it to see the likes of me, because I'm never at my best at this hour of the morning. But you wanted to see Bill and Kate and all that went on in Springwatch. You've been fans of Springwatch?
Yeah, since it started.
Yeah. Which one? Who do you like best, Bill or Kate, Julie?
Oh, I like both. I couldn't.
No, she doesn't want to discriminate between. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And have you been? You've seen it actually being made?
Yeah, saw it
Yesterday.
filmed live yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, like myself, you were up all night watching the Springwatch night shift.
That's right.
Yes. Old Badger Brock up to his mischief. You know, it beats Big Brother into a cocked hat for a viewing audience. But then, fantastic. You know that they get about 3 to 4 million people watching Springwatch. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's good.
Every day. It really is wonderful here, isn't it? What do you think? Are you impressed? Is it what you thought it would be?
It's better.
Yeah,
It's
much
really
better.
good.
Yeah, it's real.
And what about this programme? Is this better than you thought? Okay, there's no. Okay, all right. Okay. He's a right bag of spanners going to sing for us now. I shouldn't have asked that question. Steve and Julie Stannard. Love having them here.
Left me thinking what a bore. I'm always stuck inside. I've got a feeling there is more, and I've been left behind. A lot of pain, a lot of noise that these four walls hide. Happy faces go to war and dance upon the night.
There she is, Andrea Corr, plain as a pikestaff, and yet has managed to carve a little career for herself. And while watching the trailers, says Harry, and you can keep your surname to yourself, is anybody going to choke their bird song around here? I've had enough of hooting owls, chirruping starlings, or whatever that is. What's that? What was that? No, it's a corn grake. While watching the trailers for Irish television's new programme, Corrigan Knows Food, he said he was going to talk to Britain's favourite Irishman. So I set my planner to Autoview. Imagine my disappointment when you appeared, and not Val Dunican. I must say you sound much younger and slimmer than you look. It's really kind, isn't it? You know, I never has heard a discouraging word. And I missed Celebrity MasterChef because I had a subsequent appointment last night, putting myself outside several bottles of Armagnac. So, Tracy de Jong, who's in Holland and watches us closely. So, Craig Bag of Revels decided to cook lobster thermidor. Oh, nothing wrong with that. What worried me slightly were the comments of one of the judges. At least he didn't kill the lobster in the cooking process. So many people do, I'm afraid. Hey, is it me? I imagine you were unable to feast your eyes on MasterChef, which reached new cringe levels, says Tansy, feasting as you were with Kate and Bill. Suffice it to say, it reached new cringe-making levels. Compulsive viewing. Yeah, that's what makes it worth watching. Lots of undercooked and overcooked food, and Craig, gravel, hard-standing, having the shake so badly he couldn't even hold the tongs. And the quality of the plates of food... It wasn't top-end dining then. Fared predictably badly with the 3 food writer critics. Because fortunately, Greg and John decided to ignore the unkindly comments and go with their own views. Always a good idea to get others to comment and then totally ignore them. And by the way, it appears to me that John Turode is sprouting hamster-type cheek pouches. Well, the way he shovels the food in his gob. Tansy, hope the overnight ditch was comfortable and dry. And Chuffer Dandridge says, what ho, me old expansive explorer. A couple of tips for you for your wildlife adventure today. Don't wear any sort of black and white ensemble. Or with your body shape, the camera crew will think you're king of the badgers or something. Can we have a little music here that's all getting a bit offensive? Although that's probably more likely to be a panda. I'd follow you around with an infrared camera for the day to study your late-night food foraging habits. And you wouldn't like that. Neither would viewers.
You're a falling star. You're the getaway car. You're the line in the sand when I go too far. You're the swimming pool on an August day, and you're the perfect thing to say. And you play it cold, but it's kinda cute. Oh, when you smile at me, you know exactly what you do. Baby, don't pretend that you don't know it's true, 'cause you can see it when I look at you. And in this crazy life, and through these crazy times, it's you. You make me sing your every line, your every word, your everything. You're a carousel, you're always well, and you light me up when you ring my bell. You're a mystery, you're from outer space, you're every minute of my everyday. And I can't believe that I'm your man, and I get to kiss you, baby, just because I can. Whatever comes our way, I will see it through, and you know that's what our love can do. And in this crazy life, and through these crazy times, it's you. You make me sing your every line, your every word, your everything. And You're everything. You're every song, and I sing along, 'cause you're my everything.
Lovely song. Michael Bublé and Everything. And just in case you've joined us and missed the first 20 minutes of what could only be described as a pretty pathetic show, we're all here in Devon, somewhere in Devon. Fishley Farm. Is that Alan Dedicoat? What is that? Is that you, Charlie Nove?
Not guilty.
I'm sick of it. Get that bird out of here.
That's no way to speak to the traffic reporter.
Oh, pack it in. For heaven's sake, you know I can't whistle at this hour of the morning. Good morning, Boltington.
Good morning, sir. How
You're
are
missing
you?
it here. You're missing it here.
really?
Old Barrowlands decided to come in a pair of khaki shorts that have reached down below his knees.
Oh, no, that's awful. He's not wearing the pith helmet as well.
Yeah, and the codpiece.
Oh.
Scared the birds off.
He's afraid. He's afraid that some badger will be at him. It's wonderful down here. It really is lovely and so pretty. I'm looking out at
Draw
a
us a
hill,
picture.
At a hill and some green trees.
Okay, thanks.
That's as much as I
It's
can
a
do for the
start.
moment. Yes. Any chance of a bit of travel?
You're all right then.
I'll tell you more later.
Thank you. Edinburgh City Bypass. It's busy if you're travelling east from Lothian Burn through to the Hermiston Gate. A fair bit of surface water on the bypass this morning. A80 roadworks are causing long delays. If you're travelling south towards the M80 at Steps, that's just as you head into Glasgow. You're down to one lane. Big queues on the approach. It's also means you've got one lane closed on the northbound side. That's very heavy. Thanks, Gary, and appropriately, Robin. There's an accident at the Catthorpe interchange as you get onto the A14. The guys are saying traffic's back on the M6, back to Junction 1 at Rugby. We've also got a report of a breakdown on the westbound A14 approaching that same interchange. London-bound queues on the A2 for you. This is towards an accident on Watling Street. This is to the Bean interchange for Blue Water. Thanks, Honest John, Bunny and Fat Knickers. They're all on the M4 travelling east, Junction 12 to 11 at Reading. There's an accident against the barriers. The guys are saying it's near the Reading services and slowing you down. Hampshire, one lane is out on the M27. This is eastbound, Junction 5 to 7, Eastleigh through to Hedge End. Now, the traffic is back beyond the M3 interchange, very heavy there. Westbound traffic also slow in the same area. And in Powys, a lorry has struck a bridge in Newtown. It's blocking both sides of the A483, the Dolvall Road at Hale Trio Inn. Give us a call, 08700 100 200.
Manly stuff. Well
Thank you,
done.
sir. Thank you.
Yes. Springwatch. Do you watch Springwatch?
You know, I watched it last night for the very first time.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's an organic working farm, you know.
Is it?
I saw a sheep as I came in. And a cow.
Yes.
Yeah. A Springwatch Farm in Devon, that's what it is. 50 hidden mini cameras and miles... Somebody doesn't strangle that bird. And miles of fibre optics get viewers right into the bird's nest. And an old Brock's tail.
I beg your pardon?
I know. All without disturbing the animals. Damn good job we don't have it up there in Studio C.
No
Eh?
work would ever be done.
No. And there's cameras down at the river to capture kingfishers, otters and dippers. There's a few old dippers where I'm working, I tell you that. They're all in here. Look, that is not a bird.
It's
Who
a very
is that?
intelligent bird.
Who is that pretending to be a bird?
It must be a bird.
Oh, for goodness sake. I know who it is. I know who it is. And he has no business being in here.
Are you going to take him out and thrash him now?
I hope so. This'll be Beverly Knight with any luck. And obviously in pain.
I felt the pain of losing my pride, and I walked away from the tears that you cried. But now I realize
Beverly Knight, and After You. Yes, it's a lovely, lovely morning here in Devon. We're enjoying the hospitality of Springwatch. We've put ourselves outside some little creature of the wild in a butty. I'm not sure what it was. After 10 years, says Peter Doubt, of the Blair presidency, he says, it's reassuring to be told that what we knew all along. The British media operates like a feral beast. I've noticed a definite calming down of the corporation since Colin Berry was removed from Radio 2 due to the threat he posed to government stability. Yes, he had to go. But I've still got nagging doubts about Boggy Marsh, Taffy Bowles and Cold War Charlie's defection over the Iron Curtain. Yes, we were all a bit distressed to find out that, in fact, old Charlie Nove was a Russian spy. Their panther-like stalking of innocent subjects, hard-hitting revelations, and ruthless pursuit of the truth make all the President's Men look like a rerun of a Hugh Scully Antiques Roadshow. Heavens above, what was that? Is that an alarm signal of some kind? Oh, music! You better investigate that. Barrel Lance, what was that?
Want it? Here it is. Come and get it. Make your mind up fast. If you want it anytime, I can give it. But you better hurry, 'cause it may not last. Did I hear you say that there must be a catch? Will you walk away from a fool and his money? If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. But you better hurry, 'cause it's going fast. If you want it, here it is. Come and get it. Make your mind up fast. If you want it anytime, I can give it. But you better hurry, 'cause it may not last. Did I hear you say that there must be a catch? Will you walk away from a fool and his money? Sonny, if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. But you better hurry, 'cause it's going fast. You better hurry, 'cause it's going fast. Fool and his money. Sonny, if you want it, here it is. Come and get it. But you better hurry, 'cause it's going fast. You better hurry, 'cause it's going fast. You better hurry, 'cause it's going
A miracle of broadcasting. 88 to 91 FM, Radio 2, from your BBC.
The news now at 8 o'clock on Wednesday the 13th of June. Good morning, this is John Marsh. Ministers are to promote the use of drugs to lower the sex drives of paedophiles. Help the Aged says many elderly people think their quality of life has got worse over the past year. The trial by jury process is robust, says a study, and tends to eliminate any prejudice from jurors. The government is to offer more sex offenders drugs which reduce their sex drives in order to cut down the level of reoffending. The Home Secretary, John Reid, will announce a series of measures to target paedophiles, but he's expected to stop short of allowing members of the public to be able to see which sex offenders live near them. Here's our political correspondent, Robin Brandt.
Some of the most persistent sex offenders are already offered drug treatment. Home Office sources say this review will propose increasing provision. But it remains a treatment, not a punishment, and offenders will not be forced to sign up to it. One recommendation expected in this review has been heavily trailed. John Reid will confirm that the government will not bring in a Sarah's Law, named after the murder victim Sarah Payne, which would give parents the power to track paedophiles in their area.
The charity Help the Aged says more than a quarter of elderly people think their quality of life has got worse over the past year. More than 1 in 5 say they're living in poverty. About half of them fail to claim all the benefits to which they're entitled. Here's our correspondent, Andrew Bomford.
A woman in her late 70s says on a scale of 1 to 10, her quality of life is nil. A woman age 87 says she's lost her friends and never leaves the house. This is a snapshot of life for some of Britain's elderly, featured in the report from Help the Aged. 93% said their quality of life had either stayed the same or got worse in the last year. But up to half of pensioners failed to claim the £4 billion worth of benefits they're entitled to. 700,000 over 65-year-olds only leave the house once a week, and more than 1 in 10 say they're lonely. The charity says the findings are shaming and outrageous.
There's been continued fighting in Gaza between the rival Fatah and Hamas groups. Hamas gunmen have overrun the headquarters of a security force loyal to Fatah in the north of the territory. Fatah's politicians have said they'll withdraw their cooperation from the unity government until a ceasefire is implemented. Research commissioned by the government indicates that some jurors are significantly influenced by whether the defendant in a criminal trial is white or from an ethnic minority. But the results of the 4-year study published by the Ministry of Justice suggest that race did not have an impact on the eventual verdict. Our Home Affairs correspondent Danny Shaw has been looking at the findings.
The research was based on a survey, simulated cases and verdicts in real trials. It found that fewer people skipped jury service after the rules were tightened 3 years ago, and that black and Asian people are not significantly underrepresented. However, ethnic minority jurors were less likely to vote to convict a defendant from an ethnic minority than a white defendant. The report described this as same-race leniency and said it reflected a belief among ethnic minority jurors that ethnic minority defendants were treated more harshly by the courts than whites. But individual biases did not appear to have any impact on verdicts. The report claims this shows the benefits of having 12-member jury panels with majority verdicts allowed.
Medical experts have said that taking a combination of 3 new drugs can significantly improve the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis. Researchers found that the drugs slowed down the progression of the disease and reduced its symptoms. A preliminary hearing is to be held today to prepare the way for a full inquest into the death of Princess Diana. It'll be overseen by Lord Justice Scott Baker, who's the 4th person to take on the task. A man has been rescued hours after becoming trapped when a building in central London collapsed. It's thought the top 2 floors caved in while it was being renovated. Mark Blomfield from the London Fire Brigade said the rescue operation had been difficult and dangerous.
This coordinated response is a testament to the close working relationship of all of the emergency services and local authorities, and has utilised new equipment and training which has been introduced in recent years.
The American band The White Stripes have given a concert for an unusual audience. They played a gig to the Chelsea pensioners in the rather fancy surrounds of the Royal Chelsea Hospital in London. In fact, the band played in the same state apartments where Mozart once performed. These veterans were impressed.
I thought it was excellent. It's not my scene, really, but it's a different type of music altogether. But I thought they were very, very good. Like all these young people, they're excellent musicians, aren't they?
I like the music. It was nice. But I wouldn't go out of my way to go and listen to them.
And the weather. The rain in southern Scotland should clear by lunchtime to leave a dry but cloudy day. By the afternoon, though, the whole of Britain will have seen some showers. BBC News, it's 8:05.
It's as dry as a bone here, Johnny. And a nice bright sky ahead of me and trees.
You take the sunshine. You've got a way with words, haven't you?
Yes, there's trees here.
Trees and ale.
Yes, indeed.
You've gone all the way. I mean, you could come to my gaff and see trees and ale.
While you're sampling heaven down in glorious Devon, that dandified fops sneaked back in. So the future looks dusky. He's teamed up with the Rusky.
It's charity work.
Polished off what's left of Lynn's gin.
I never touched her.
While your lick's spittling in a ditch, give an occasional twitch, starving the nestlings of provender. Your underlings have bonded, old decencies absconded, and boy, are they having a bender. Oh, crooky, crooky. I just thought, says Ellis Williams of Latwich, I thought I'd let you know I'm joining in the spirit of the show this breakfast time, tucking into a bowl of corncrakes. Lovely.
The Mississippi Delta was shining like a national guitar. I am following the river down the highway through the cradle of the Civil War. I'm going to Graceland, Graceland, to Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Poor boys and pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. My traveling companion is 9 years old. He's the child of my first marriage. I've reason to believe we both will be received in Graceland. She comes back to tell me she's gone. As if I didn't know that, as if I didn't know my own bed. As if I'd never noticed the way she brushed her hair from her forehead. And she said, losing love is like a window in your heart. Everybody sees you're blown apart. Everybody sees the wind blow. I'm going to Graceland, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to Graceland. Pilgrims with families, and we are going to Graceland. And my traveling companions are ghosts and empty sockets. I'm looking at ghosts and empties. But I've reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland. There is a girl in New York City who calls herself the human trampoline. And sometimes when I'm falling, flying, or tumbling in turmoil, I say, whoa, so this is what she means. She means we're bouncing into Graceland. And I see losing love is like a window in your heart. Well, everybody sees you're blown apart. Everybody feels the wind blow. Ooh, in Graceland, Graceland. I'm going to Graceland. For reasons I cannot explain, there's some part of me wants to see Graceland. And I may be obliged to defend every love, every ending, or maybe there's no obligations now. Maybe I'm a reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland.
Paul Simon and Graceland. Oh, listen, little chirrupy birds. Oh, look, it's a robin sitting on the windowsill. Oh, isn't that lovely? Yes, all right. Shut up, you little... Yeah, it's enough. I'll set Bill Oddie on you. Good morning, good looking. Now that I have the strawberries, says Lollipop, so if you fill your car with Devon clotted cream, we could make a killing at Wimbledon. Get the price right, we could fund your next holiday, and I could get the new extension on the house. Now, what have we got here? Well, there you are in Springwatch, where a bird in the bush has conquered the land. While some Albanians should be doing bird, having sprung the watch from Bush's hand. Sally forth. I just saw that fleetingly. Somebody do something about that. I'll... Look, I know where you live, all right? I'll come and get you. Somebody nicked George W. Bush's watch when he was visiting among a crowd of Albanians yesterday. Stan Tollett says, so you finally made it to the ditch. Not only yourself, but you've taken your friends with you. There's no friends of mine here. Nobody here, well, possibly the Stannards, and they're far too decent to be associated with this kind of rubbish. Of course, I and your other listeners always knew you'd end up there one day. When one considers the function of a ditch, is a ditch not just a country name for what us townies call a gutter? And the pig got up and slowly walked away. Take that!
There's a place we used to be. There's a face that I used to see. There's a picture with you by my side. There's a moment that I wanna find. I don't know where to start or how to begin, but I know I love you still. If you ever turn away, if you ever change your mind, if the road ahead becomes too hard to climb, if there's something in your heart that tells you to stop, oh, to hold you close tonight, I'd wait for light. There's a voice shouting inside my head. There's a space on your side of the bed, and there's a hope every time there's a sound. There's a silence that's playing too loud. Yeah, I don't know where you are or how you may be, but I know I love you still. If you ever turn away, if you ever change your mind, if the road ahead becomes too hard to climb, if there's something in your heart that tells you to stop, oh, to hold you close tonight, I'd wait for life.
Take that. That's lovely. That's their latest. I'd wait for life. Well chosen, Barrowlands. A very good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you, he speaks. It may be a few years now since you were honoured by the Queen. No, it's only a couple. Years have flown by, I know. It's Geraint de Hall, the Welsh golf correspondent. It may be a few years now since you were honoured and she bestowed the title of Sir Terry of Togdom on you. But you must remember, on that day you were told, with that Sir, an honour, comes the day when you'll be made to feel humble. At last, that day has arrived. Oh, frabjous day. In recognition of your broadcast from the Devonshire ditch this morning. What was that?
Cow.
Was that a cow? Thank you. Thank you, Barrowlands. You never saw a cow in Sauchiehall Street until you were about 35, did you? Same as me in Ireland. I never had a bar of chocolate until I was 15. I've written the following ditty to be sung to the tune of If you tune in to Terry today, you're in for a big surprise. If you tune in to Terry today, where he is one can only surmise. For he swapped his comfy studio chair to be out in the dewy morning air to join Bill and Kate for the birdie and animal spring. Watch.
Yeah.
Just had a round of applause from a badger.
Now I love you just the way I love that rag doll. Slowly now my love has grown, and it gets stronger in every way, and it gets deeper. Let me say, and it gets higher.
so you find me in this ditch in Devon, surrounded by all manner of wild animal. And meanwhile, Studio C, Western House, BBC, animals of a different kind. Good morning to you, Bolsey.
Good morning. Yes, I have the very lovely, very strange, and a beard full of wild animals, Boggy Marsh.
I come out of retirement back here for charity purposes and get hurled abuse.
Well, exactly. What do you mean, come out of retirement? I thought we'd seen the back of you weeks ago.
No. I'm going to come back and pester you.
Like a bad
That's my role
penny.
in life.
Up again.
Sympathise with you, though. You go all the way there, and Teddycoat turns up. I mean, that is bad luck.
He's not here. I haven't seen him. All I've heard is the merry chirp of the passing hoopoe.
That's not a hoopoe. That's a great crested knee scratcher.
Ah.
I recognise one of those when I hear it.
You promised us that he'd retired, that he had gone forever. You said we're rid of him for good, that he'd returning never. And ever since that fateful day, the lad's been boxing clever. He's taken his golden handshake, and he's been on more than ever. That's Wilson.
Handshake?
And he's still waiting for his pint.
It's more like the door slammed in your face than a golden handshake. And let's have the past back.
You win, Grace. You win, Grace. You know, as a DG once said to me, when some fellow left and was told to clear his desk, he said, "He'll be back," he said. They all come crawling back in the end. BBC Radio 2. I would have said more, but the jingle came in.
Thank heavens. Oh dear. Heading into Glasgow, it's been pretty busy on the A80. Set of roadworks on the southbound approach to the M80 at Steps. They've been removed. It's still busy though. A set of overnight roadworks which overran. Just outside Great Yarmouth, there's been an accident which is blocking the eastbound A47, the Acorn New Road, just before the A12. That's the Runham Road. PT is reporting heavy traffic if you're on the A38. Now this is travelling north from Alfreton to the M1 at junction 28. He spotted 2 bumps along that route. Accident on the Catthorpe interchange as you get onto the A14 from the M6. That one's been cleared. You're getting back to normal there. But there is a breakdown on the westbound A14 approaching that interchange. Very heavy on the approach. They've also cleared the accident from the A2. That was on Watling Street at the Bean interchange for Blue Water. That's all clear. And the accident on the M4. This was eastbound at Reading, junction 12 to 11. Everything's on the side as well. Roadworks in Sevenoaks, though, on the A25, the Maidstone Road at Riverhead. That's the junction with the A224 London Road. Causing lots of problems. One caller was saying it's very, very heavy delays on the A25. Hampshire, 1 lane closed on the M27 if you're eastbound, junction 5 to 7. Eastleigh through to Hedge End. Queues all the way back to junction 2, which is Hour. Adding to those problems, there's an accident on the southbound M275 just off the M27 at junction 3. And in Powers, a lorry has struck a bridge in Newtown. It's blocking both sides of the 483 Dolvor Road at Hale Trowen. Number to call 08700 100 200. It's because you moved towards me, Boggy. You worried me.
I have that effect on me.
Strange power.
He moves towards me.
Most of them run, but of
The
course
strange power he has over small creatures and women.
And both of those, luckily.
Now, we're all in this together, you know. Charlie Nove is on the other side, doing all the work. There's Bolsey, and there's John. And John,
yes,
there's a special story here because you're with us.
Oh, how charming.
Janet and John. John goes bird watching. Just before we start, is that a tank going by? Or is that some lumbering creature of the wild?
It's my
Is it a herd of elephants?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have had that baguette.
Today, John is going bird watching. Do you know what birding is? John does. John likes birds. But he has trouble keeping them off his plums. John puts on his best birding outfit, a green waxed cotton catsuit, tie leather rubber boots, and green eyeshadow. Janet drops John off at the train station, ties the label on his duffel coat, and tells him to behave. When John arrives at the farm in Devon, there are a lot of bird watchers already there. See the beards. John sees Mr. Oddie. Mr. Oddie is a famous wildlife expert. Mr. Oddie used to be one of the 3 people that work Jade Goody. Mr. Oddie introduces John to Kate Humble. Do you know what middle-aged men think about? Miss Humble does. See the post bag. John says,
"Thank you for the invitation. I really enjoy birding. I have some binoculars, and I know all of the collective terms, a bevy of larks, a parliament of owls, and a gallon of petrols.
See Miss Humble back away, smiling and nodding. Miss Humble says, "Why don't you pop along to the hide and have a look at one of the nest sites? There's a group already there. Just ask for Mrs. Smalls, the RSPB inspector."
Thank you, says John.
See John hop and skip down the path to the hide, which is hidden in the bushes. When John arrives, Mrs. Smalls was showing a group of other children a greenfinch nest.
Hello, Mrs. Smalls, says John. What kind of bird makes an untidy nest like that?
Mrs. Smalls tells John all about the greenfinch. Mrs. Smalls is from Cornwall. See the caravans. John sees a badge with a blackbird on it on Mrs. Smalls' jacket.
Is that a crow?
Said John. Mrs. Smalls said, "No, that's called a chuff." It's a member of the crow family. They're quite rare. I have a picture of one here. Can you see that it has a bright red beak?
Yes,
said John.
It's very nice.
Soon it's time to get the train home. John is very tired. When John gets home, Janet says, "Did you have a nice day today?"
Yes, said John. When I got to the farm, I saw Mr. Oddie. He introduced me to Kate Humble, who was very nice. She said I should go into the hide to Inspector Smalls. The camouflage material was quite nice, and the hole in the front allowed me to get a good picture of a rather untidy nest. Then the RSPB lady showed me what a Cornish chuff looks like, too.
Can you dismember your prey using just your claws? Janet can. See John run. Run, John. Run. It's just a little chuff. It's 88 to 91 FM Radio 2 from the BBC.
And here are the news headlines now. It's 8:30. The government will outline new measures to protect children from paedophiles. They include using drugs to suppress the behaviour of offenders and allowing mothers to do background checks on new partners. A bomb has destroyed 2 minarets of the Gold Dome Shiite shrine in the Iraqi city of Samarra. An attack last year sparked sectarian violence in the country, which is still going on. Scientists say new treatments for rheumatoid arthritis can stop the progression of the disease and reduce its symptoms. But the drugs are expensive. It's thought they'd cost the NHS around £250 million a year. A 4th coroner will start overseeing the inquest into the death of Princess Diana today. At a preliminary hearing, Mohammed Al-Fayed, whose son died in the same car crash, is expected to repeat his demand that the Queen be called to give evidence. The weather, persistent rain in northern England will spread into western areas of the UK this afternoon. Sunshine and showers for southern England, dry and bright in much of Scotland. That's it. Our next news at 9.
88 to 91 FM. BBC Radio 2. Southern nights. Have you ever felt a southern night? Free as a breeze, not to mention the trees, whistling tunes that you know and love so. Southern nights, just as good even when close your eyes. I apologize to anyone who can truly say that he has found a better way. Southern skies, have you ever noticed southern skies? Well, its precious beauty lies just beyond the eye. It goes running through the soul like the story told of old. Old man, he and his dog that walked the old land. Every flower touched his cold hand as he slowly walked by. Weeping willows cry for joy. Joy feels so good. It feels so good. It's frightening. Wish I could stop this world from fighting. Mystery like this and many others in the trees, glow in the night in the southern sky. Southern nights, they feel so good. It's a frightening. Wish I could stop this world from fighting. Down, 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 down,
I'm not picking my nose, I'm picking my eye, Jam.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry. Did you hear that? No, of course Kate Humble wasn't picking her nose. So you fancy having a little twitch with Steve and Julie in a ditch. But tell Kate Humble to take good care when serving up your breakfast fare. Why should you have to bother with fowl when she could serve up chick or owl? Does she know pan-fried great bustard goes down a treat with English mustard? Especially if there is to follow a fricassee of fledgling swallow. So it's common knowledge that Radio 2 jocks salivate at the thought of Glasgow fox. Steer clear of her tits, and you could cadge a plate spit roast badge. Tuck in well, and you could have the body of a tubby gnome, just like Bill Oddie.
Sorry. Well, he can bleeding talk, can't he?
I just wanted to give you the greatest tip I ever got.
Greatest tip you ever
in gardening.
Tip.
That was good. Was it poo-poo?
It was the
tone down.
tits like coconuts.
Is that,
that one?
That was the one, yes.
Do you want the other bit of that joke?
No.
Well, it involves a bird like a cormorant.
Oh, of course.
Did you get that?
Yeah, people asked me if I could tell the difference. But for the purposes of a family programme, I was unable to oblige.
They're all working it out at home now.
It's strange, says Frank, how our perceptions change over the years. Any child standing where you are now would see sheep and cows and maybe the odd late lamb. You, on the other hand, see mutton, sirloin steak and lamb chops. I wonder how you perceive Bill Oddie. Well, I imagined he would be tasty, but you're slow cooking.
I should say so.
Yes, indeed. I wonder if you can get Bill to do the mating call of the lesser spotted grebe. It's a long time since I heard this. It'll remind me of a very special time in my life when I worked as a birdseed tester in a factory in Norfolk. I had to give it up in the end as I got fed up breaking my nose every time they gave us some seed to test. And still hurts to this day when I sneeze. That's from Budgie.
Right.
And there's a verse for you, Case, as well.
Is there?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Just to make you feel... I know you were drinking a bit last night.
Not as much
Can't
as
be
some.
easy for you.
No.
Have you been working this morning yet?
Oh, this is work. Well, no, this isn't work.
What for the CBBS?
No.
It's too early for the likes of you.
It certainly is, yes, no.
Yeah.
She actually goes out with her trainer in the morning.
I do.
I've seen it. I've
Yeah.
seen her, I mean, and him coming back.
And his as well.
Well, you do. It's the lycra, you know. I'm always grateful. It gets me going in
And
the
of course,
morning.
the air around here is unpolluted, so you can see for miles. Oh, to have a tumble in a ditch with Kate Humble, to frolic over hill and down dale, to see ducks that are ruddy with that expert, Bill Uddy, whose calls attract the birds without fail.
Whose what attracts the
Calls.
Calls, oh.
Yes, what did you think
Thank
he
God for
said?
that. I don't know. I thought it was rhyming slang for a moment. I actually didn't know.
Yes.
It can't be much fun for you.
It's gossipy.
I get a lot of letters saying,
Yeah.
how does she bear it? How can she stand it?
I barely can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
What are we talking about?
Well, guess
You're being
who?
insulting, aren't you?
Guess who we're talking about here now? It's just the British public. It's not me. I'm only reading the letters. This is the
They
reaction we
don't
get.
know. They don't know what goes on in her head. I happen to know. Kate doesn't know that I know this either.
What, that you
have
know what
voices.
goes on in my
You
head?
have voices, don't you?
Do I?
Yes.
I do,
With
actually.
people in the box saying.
I do have people in the car.
Rush him on, interrupt him. Getting too interesting, getting far too interesting, Kate. Just go on to something and say, oh, look, it's grown, or isn't it big, or something like that. Yeah. It's a bit like being in a nest box, this, isn't it, actually? We know what they're like now. I mean, where we are now, this little porter cabin, there's about 25 of us in
This
it.
is not a porter cabin. I'm in a ditch with the pair of you. Would you mind sustaining
Oh,
the
really?
illusion?
With Pudsey Bear being electrocuted before my very eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, you've got to picture this, you know, because it's radio. Did you realise that, Kate?
Is it?
There's no pictures, yeah.
Oh.
But we've got Pudsey Bear here attached to wires. What's going on?
He's holding up the clock, if you must know.
He's not, he's being executed. I think this is shameful. Wogan executes Pudsey on air.
Does your mother, Kate, does your mother know that you do this for a living?
She tries to deny all connection.
No.
It's difficult with an unusual surname, but she does try and say no, nothing.
Are the
to do with
rumours
me.
about the pair of you true?
Which rumours would those be?
What, that we don't get on?
No. Quite the reverse.
Quite the reverse. What's
There
the
has been
reverse?
talk.
We haven't done the reverse, have we? Certainly not.
Not this week,
no.
anyway.
No, quite.
No. Don't know what you're talking about.
What's going by now? Can you hear anything?
Yeah.
What is that?
It was an owl. It was just flying back. You know,
very,
barn owl.
They go
very
out
heavy owl.
on the motorbikes. Yes, they go back about this time in the morning.
Carrying the barn on his back.
That's right.
Exactly. Look, I'm fed up talking to you now.
Yeah, I
so we're
thought
going
you
to play
might
a bit
be.
of music, but
What are we
if
having?
you'd manage to hang around a little bit longer,
Oh, we can hang
might
around.
even find something more interesting
We're
to talk about.
very good at hanging around.
You can tell us about Spring Watch and stuff. And how
we?
exciting it is.
Okay.
As if you knew what you were doing.
No chance of
You
that.
could say the same, couldn't you? Pots and kettles springs to mind, I don't know.
I'm going to have a drink now.
Oh, into music? What's going on?
7. It's Frankie Valli at the Four Seasons. He's begging. Please ask, first of all, Bill and Kate, if it's correct, that the best way to differentiate between weasels and stoats is one is weaselly identified and
the other is totally different. Yeah, absolutely.
God, I never
Had you heard that before?
I haven't heard that for
5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, at least no, it's less than that. Yeah. 25 times last night we listened to that. Don't ever say it again. All right.
You bucolic sophisticates.
Well, we are.
With your smart country ways.
I know.
It's sort of folk jokes, aren't they? We can all get together. We should have community joke telling. You know, all together now.
I'm sorry, I came now. I'm sorry, I came. Look, I'm sure people are interested in something other than the pair of you. So, what about Springwatch, Kate? What do you actually do?
What do we do? Well, that's a very good question, actually, Terry. What do we do?
I mean, when do you start? You're not working.
We entertain the nation.
We start at about 10:30. We get down here to this lovely ditch where we're all sitting now.
Down and dirty
Dirty in the ditch. And we pop in to see our lovely story developers, which if you haven't done this morning, I thoroughly recommend because, as Bill will say,
very tasty.
Very pretty.
Oh, yes.
Even the boys.
Do you get a
And we
chance?
go in.
Do you get a chance, Bill, to eat any of these little creatures?
To eat any of them?
What, story developers?
No, if only. Don't take it in that direction. That's smutty, Terry.
Sorry.
Don't.
Well, it can be very nourishing. I was just going, yeah. Are you telling me the whole thing doesn't happen spontaneously?
Oh, no,
Totally spontaneously. We go in the morning and we go and look at all the monitors that all the cameras have been sending through and go, oh goodness, there are the wrens, how fantastic. They're all looking well, swallows are looking fabulous, owls doing well, all's good over the night, or whatever's happened. And then by the time we go on air, everything's changed. So we're literally thinking, right, we'll do something with the wrens now.
I'd just like you to notice that I couldn't get a word in edgeways. And it's all right, it's fine. I'm not saying that I interrupt. Yeah, no, but you go on and on and on. You see, like that. Don't get a word in.
What was that about pots and kettles?
I'm not speaking.
Okay, fine.
I'm not talking anymore.
I think we're having a domestic.
It's not serious, though, no. But she's right. When we come in, I mean, we have to face traumas, literally. We come in the morning and half the cast has died or left or something. I mean, imagine that happening to you.
Well, it's nature red in tooth and claw.
Well, yeah.
It is.
Yes.
It is, yes. It's been particularly red this year. It's been particularly red this year.
Yes, there's been a lot of blood spilt, hasn't there?
There has, yes.
No, actually, I'm sorry to contradict you. I'm sorry, Kate, this is all going to come out now. You're wrong.
Oh, go on then.
There hasn't been any blood. There wasn't any blood. They swallow those...
blood with the buzzard?
Nah, they swallow things whole, though, by and large. Seriously, there hasn't been any red, has there? I don't think there's been any gore. I'm being a bit pedantic, but, you know, I want to set the record.
Not you. No.
I've always wondered what Terry would be as a bird in the show. Have you ever thought of that one, you know? If he was on the... You feel like you're in a nest box here, and we could observe your daily happenings.
If you're going to say chuff now...
No, you're not a chuff. No, I'm not going to say chuff. No, I was trying to think... I think a turkey of some sort.
Do you?
Yes. I can see him as a turkey, or possibly a prairie chicken. Something that blows up at the front there.
Frigate bird.
A frigate bird, yeah.
We're not back in the cormorant jokes again.
No, we're not. It's just a serious point. No, I think it was another.
Well, look,
oven ready turkey.
It's my own fault for asking you to speak sensibly about Springwatch.
Well, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever
There's
been
nothing
sensible on this show yet, and we are not going to change the habit of a lifetime.
All right, well, the pair of you can clear off then.
Well,
go on.
We never asked.
So get out of my ditch.
Why are you here anyway?
Get out of my ditch. I've got a newt here. I'd rather
You're not
talk
coming
to.
next year. Yeah, talking of newts. Yeah, a few newts around last night. Know what I mean, listeners? Yeah. I think
Tell me
so.
letting the side down, for God's sake, man.
Speak for yourself.
Have a bit of decency. Any chance we could play a bit of music and get us out of this?
Keep going.
I think that was Bill Oddie and Kate Humble. And I think they wanted to talk about Springwatch, but we didn't get much sense out of them, but I think that's why we love them. haven't you? Well, now, the dust has settled here, Bowlesy.
Star-studded down there, isn't it?
Quite. That's the one. I couldn't get a word out of Bill Oddie.
Really? Oh,
he's
he's very shy and retiring.
Yeah. Have you heard the twittering of birds at all?
One or two, yes.
Well, Byron Bonnybanks of Loch Lomond says, could you ask the poor man's Percy Edwards, who's twittering in my ear, if he can whistle in a monastery garden, and then could you invite him to go there and do it? What?
Very sharp.
He's doing his best. A little bird. Here? Oh. Isn't it lovely? Don't you wish you were here, Lynn?
I can't tell you. I'm beside myself with jealousy.
I wish I could believe that.
Yeah, okay.
BBC Radio 2.
A80 heading into Glasgow. This is southbound. It's been very busy this morning. It's because overnight roadworks overran. They've been lifted. This was near the M80 at Steps. There's still a lane closed, though, on the northbound side. Cumbria expects some horse-drawn caravans on the A66. The Appleby Horse Fair is on. I think it's the last day today. Albert has spotted a couple of groups of them. Beware. Just outside Great Yarmouth, an accident has closed the eastbound A47, the Acorn New Road, just before the A12, Runham Road. Northamptonshire A605 is closed in both directions following an accident between the A14 at Thrapston and the Oundle Road. It's very busy through Thrapston as drivers try to take an alternative. Hertfordshire, there's an accident in Harpenden, which has closed both sides of the A1081, the Luton Road. Now, that's between the Common and Cooters End Lane. Mark says traffic very heavy in the surrounding roads as a result. Big Wheelers says it's particularly busy on the M3 if you're heading north this morning. This is from Fleet Services through to Junction 3, Lightwater. No reports of any accidents or problems, just loads of traffic. Hampshire, still we've got big delays on the M27 if you're travelling east following the accident, Junction 5 to 7, Eastleigh through to Hedge End. Traffic's been back past the M3, back towards Junction 2 at Hour. Adding to those delays, there was an accident on the M275. This is southbound, just off the M27 at Junction 3. Give us a call. The number's 08700 100 200.
Thank you, Bowlesy. That's grand.
Oh, he's off again, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, no. Wordsworth, as I awoke one morning when all sweet things are born, a robin perched upon my sill to signal coming morn. I cried gently at its song, then stood beside my bed, gently closed the window, and crushed its bloomin' head. Is Charlie Nove with you?
Sadly, yes, Charlie's here.
Charlie?
Say hello, Charlie.
Hello. Look, Dame Leskie Douglas is writing, saying, Dear Comrade Nove, your days as a sleeper are at an end. It's now time to activate you, as the old fool will not suspect a thing. He thinks you really are a news hound and continuity announcer. The code phrase is, the man rises swiftly and consumes some rashers. When you hear this, you must implement the plan swiftly and completely. Do this right, and it's a promotion for you, comrade.
I think I can implement the plan, sir.
Listen, if you're wondering about that noise going by...
What's that noise going by?
Well, that's the rain driving down on our unsuspecting heads here in the ditch. And the birds drowning. And the other sound that we heard, which sounded like a herd of wildebeest going by, that was in fact taking little creatures of the wild to the abattoir.
Oh, this is not the thing to say. No, stop it.
What?
Stop it.
For goodness sake. Is that bird gargling? No.
The water's coming up to their knees.
It's a beautiful day. I'm feeling so fine. There's love in the air, and you on my mind. Today's the day I wanna do the things I gotta do. And if I get a chance, I'd like to do it all with you. It's a beautiful day to wear me a smile. It's one of those days that makes living worthwhile. Today is like a holiday we used to have from school. Running to a beach to be the first one in the pool. It's a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day. It's a beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day. It's a beautiful happy inside. What more can I say? I've nothing to hide. If you have a time, I've got so much I wanna say. If nobody will listen, well, I'll say it anyway. It's beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day. It's beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day. It's beautiful, oh, what a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful day. Liverpool Express, that's lovely. Well, I mean, I can actually give the lie to that because the rain is drumming down. You can hear it here. I'm very glad I've got my dry sabown on here in the ditch. And this little bird beside me, there's just... Oh, he's still chirruping away merrily. Where are you, Sister Anne? I can't see you. What? I'm here. I'm leaning out of me window, clutching me binoculars close to me bazoom, and I still can't see you. Try popping your head above the ditch and waving. Here you are. I thought I sighted that oddie fellow earlier. Somebody answer that phone. Or was that a creature of the wild? How can you get a phone like that in a ditch like this? I don't believe a word of what's happening here. Let's have Maria Moldau. Midnight at the Oasis.
Midnight at the Oasis. Send your camel to bed. Shadows painting our faces. Traces of romance in our hands. Heaven's holding a half moon, shining just for us. Let's slip off to a sand dune real soon. Kick up a little dust. Come on, cactus is our friend. He'll point out the way. Come on, till the evening ends. Till the evening ends. You don't have to answer. There's no need to speak. I'll be your belly dancer, prancer, and you can be my sheep. I know your daddy's a sultan, a nomad known to all, with 50 girls to attend him. They all send him the jump bags that can call, but you won't need no harem, honey, when I'm by your side. And you won't need no camel, no, no, when I take you for a ride. Come on, cactus is our friend. He'll point out the way. Come on, till the evening ends, till the evening ends. Midnight at the Oasis. Send your camel to bed. Got shadows painting our faces and traces of romance in our heads. Oh, come on.
Yes, Maria Moldau, Midnight at the Oasis. The driving rain slowly fading away here in Devon. And that interview you did with Kate Humble and Bill Oddie of Springwatch, that was all very oddie. says Pat Card of Blackheath. I bet you miss the good old days when you could do easy interviews like Anne Bancroft and Bette Davis, Jerry Lee Lewis. 88 to 91 FM, Radio 2 from the BBC.
Time for the news now at 9 o'clock. This is John Marsh. More sex offenders are to be offered drugs to reduce their sex drive. The move is part of a series of measures being announced by the Home Secretary, John Reid. The government is stopping short of introducing a Sarah's law, which would allow people to know where sex offenders live. But Mr. Reid said some people would get more information.
In practical terms, what we've had to do is to devise a system which meant that such people who may be at risk will be entitled to seek such information, and where it is deemed that they are at risk will be given such information.
One of the holiest sites in Shia Islam, the Golden Mosque in the Iraqi city of Samarra, has been attacked. A bombing there last year by Sunni militants sparked a wave of sectarian violence that's continued ever since. Reports this morning say the mosque's remaining 2 minarets have been destroyed. There's been more fighting this morning in Gaza between Palestinian militants from the rival Hamas and Fatah groups. The Palestinian Unity Government is under threat. From Jerusalem, Tim Franks.
People in Gaza are asking, if this isn't civil war, what is? Calls for restraint from political leaders and international diplomats are being lost in the din of gunfire. New depths of brutality have been reached and more pitched battles have raged. After one such battle, Hamas militants appear to have overrun a compound belonging to Fatah in the north of Gaza. Fatah's political leaders, in consultation with the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, have announced that they'll no longer attend cabinet meetings of the National Unity Government, established 3 months ago in an attempt to end the violence between the two sides.
The British Medical Association is calling for an inquiry into NHS Direct. The phone service is meant to ease the pressure on GPs, but the BMA says it's referring too many patients and wants a study of how cost-effective it is. Dr Hamish Meldrum chairs the BMA's GP committee.
If a lot of people are being referred on unnecessarily, and we all have experience of that, whether it be in general practice, the ambulance service and A&E, I mean, all these 3 parts of the NHS are making the same comment. I think we really need to look at that. I appreciate they're dealing with a large number of people, a large number of calls, but I think there are still problems with NHS Threat, and surely we can have a proper evaluation of how effective and how efficient the service is.
Police in Warwickshire searching for a 9-year-old boy who disappeared after fishing with friends have found a body. The boy got into difficulties in a lake in Nuneaton. The charity Help the Aged says more than a quarter of elderly people believe their quality of life has got worse over the past year. More than 20% say they're living in poverty, and about half fail to claim all the benefits they're entitled to. A preliminary hearing is to be held today to prepare the way for a full inquest into the death of Princess Diana. It'll be overseen by Lord Justice Scott Baker, the 4th person to take on the task. The weather: Wales and central and southern England will have a mixture of sunshine and heavy showers. More persistent rain will return to Northern Ireland and northern England, while Scotland will be drier but cool. And a bit of rain in Devon as well.
Yes,
4 minutes past 9, more at 10.
Yes, indeed, Johnny. But it softens the turf. And it's good for the crops, that's what I say. And how nice of you just to drop in for one day for us, Johnny.
Not at all. It's an enormous privilege and a great honour to be a part of your little programme.
Yes, shut up. Congratulations to Radio 2 for having the courage to repeat a programme of Percy Edwards Entertains. It's amazing that John Marsh sounds so young. and Percy's skills at bird and animal impressions are almost real. The trouble is, between the music, there's someone doing an impression of a gibbon that doesn't come across half as well. This is from Desmond Morris.
I'm sure I heard a GNU earlier as well.
Oh, no. Another GNU. Oh, yeah.
Terry Wogan.
That'll be me, then.
BBC Radio 2.
It's funny. When you want the sound of a bird, you can't get one. You can't buy the sound of a bird. All right. Sorry I spoke.
Sound of the river, you stop and you hold everything. A band is blowing Dixie, double fall time. you hear the music ring. Well, now you step inside, but you don't see too many faces. Coming in out of the rain and hear the jazz go down. Competition in other places. But the horns, they blowing that sound. Way on down south, way on down south, London town. You check out Guitar George, he knows all the chords. But it's strictly rhythm, he doesn't want to make it cry or sing. If then an old guitar is all he can afford, when he gets up under the lights to play his thing. And Harry doesn't mind if he doesn't make the scene. He's got a daytime job, he's doing alright. He can play the honky-tonk like anything, saving it up Friday night with the Sultans, with the Sultans of Swing. Microphone. He says at last, just as the time bell rings. Good night, now it's time to go home. Then he makes it fast with one more thing. We are the Sultans. We are the Sultans of Swing.
Dire Straits. That's indeed how you find us. And Sultans of Swing. From BBC Equipment and Resources Outsourcing Team, North Devon Department. To Mr. Barrowlands Boyd. That's you, all right, son. Confirm receipt of the specific equipment you requested for Wild Watch on Wednesday. 1 extremely annoying multi-bird sound device. The overlong knobbly knee covering shorts. 1 pair spare in case of accidents. No, we've already had that. Tranquilizing dart gun. Safe to use on elderly presenters, although Oddie has proved sadly resistant to both this and the taser. 1 diamond necklace inscribed to Darling Kate from an anonymous admirer known only as the Boydster. Oh, I tell you what, the listener is no fool. All of these must be returned after use. Ms. Kate Adey demands the return of her jewellery as soon as possible, you two-timing rat. Oh, there's an undercurrent here, you know. There's sort of wheels within wheels, and given the onset of heavy rain, says Rob Palmer, and the abundance of fauna around Wake Up Wogan this morning, perhaps it's time for him to take to the ark. 2 by 2. Quickly now. Oi, Wilf. Yes, it's Russell Sprout of Clackmannanshire. I've been dropping the Tig, the young geezer, off to his minder, and as we walked up the road, a flock of oyster catchers flew overhead. can you please ask that well-known bird expert, Mr. Roddy, is it white or red wine with the oyster catcher? I think there's a lot of foolish talk about you can't have white wine with meat and red wine with fish. I mean, nonsense. Who asked you?
Nobody.
Well, will you keep your barrel hands trap shut for the moment? I had enough people talking at me this morning. What about a bit of music, eh? What do you think? Would that be acceptable? Oliver McTiernan is going to join us as we pause for thought at 9:15 after this.
When I first held you, I was cold. A melting snowman, I was told. But there was no one there to hold. Before I swore that I would be alone forevermore. Wow, look at you now, flowers in the window, such a lovely day. And I'm glad you feel the same as you stand up out in the crowd. You are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. There is no reason to feel bad, but there are many seasons to feel bad, sad and mad. It's just a bunch of feelings that we have to hold. But I am here to help you with the load. Wow, look at you now, flowers in the window. It's such a lovely day, and I'm glad you feel the same. Stand up out in the crowd. You are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. So now we're here and now is fine. So far away from there, and there is time to plant new seeds and watch them grow. So there'll be flowers in the window when we go out. Look at us now, flowers in the window. It's such a lovely day, and I'm glad you feel the same. 'Cause you stand up out in the crowd. You are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. Wow, look at you now, flowers in the window. It's such a lovely day, and I'm glad you feel the same. 'Cause you stand up out in the crowd. You are one in a million, and I love you so. Let's watch the flowers grow. Let's watch the flowers grow.
That's Travis and flowers in the window. Oh, look, there's another lorry for the abattoir. Excellent. Good morning. Good morning, Oliver McTiernan.
Good morning, Terry.
Did you hear that traffic going by here?
I do, and it's hard to imagine you under some hedge down there watching the birds.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm actually trying to stay below the level here because I might be taken off the abattoir along with everything else. I thought I saw Bill Oddie being carried off.
Be careful.
There he goes. Yeah. Oliver, it's nice to have you with us, and I understand, out of sympathy for where we are and among nature, that you've got lots of little birds. And
Thousands of little birds. You've got a good spy camera somewhere here in the studio. But Terry, a word of advice.
Oh, yeah.
Charles looks very comfortable sitting in your chair here. I'd hurry back. You may take up squatters' rights.
Well, Charles looks comfortable wherever he's sitting because he's got that kind of figure, really. Comfort comfort rather than speed.
Exactly.
And now, Oliver, have you been enjoying the Spring Watch morning?
I have, Terry, and your outdoor adventure this morning is very timely, as the press this week has been full of stories about the various gaps that now exist between people, not just in the rich and poor nations, but also here in Britain. Food, education, health, housing, wages are just some of the divides that are impacting on children's lives. The most disturbing statistic I read this week is that 1 in 4 of the children born in Britain between 2000 and 2002 live in poverty. Now, given the divides that exist in our society, it's difficult to see how they will ever have access to the food, housing, education, health and job opportunities they will need in order to grow to their full human potential. The Bible makes it clear that our real value as human beings lies not in the circumstances of our birth, but simply in the fact that we were born. It sees all life as an equally precious and sacred gift that should be respected and cherished regardless of a person's status or ability. The reports in the press this week on the divisions that still exist in our society only go to emphasise how far short we are from realising this ideal. The great thing, though, Terry, about what you and others are doing for children in need is that it helps all of us to realise that with a little bit of effort and generosity, we can make a difference in the lives of others.
Thank you very much, Oliver, and it's entirely appropriate that you referred to Children in Need because we have 2 marvellous people who donated a tremendous amount of money to Children in Need and the auction for things that money can't buy. That's Steve and Julie Stannard, and they've been sitting here with me as silent as church mice. And we're very, very happy and delighted with their company. And thank you, Oliver. I won't be seeing you for a little
Thanks,
bit.
Terry. Yep, we have a break, or I have a break at least till August. I think mid-August I'll be back with you.
Good, we look forward to that.
If the lines under the channel are working.
That's all right, we don't get the old seagull or chuff sitting on the lines. Of course, that can distort things a bit. Oliver, we look forward to your next visit.
Lovely, thanks, Terry.
Oliver McTim.
And
writer.
safe journey back.
Thank you, my friend. Writer and specialist in conflict resolution. I wish you'd been here for Bill and Kate.
Just like a star across my sky, just like an angel off the page, you have appeared to my life. Feel like I'll never be the same. Just like a song in my heart, just like oil on my hands, only to love you. Still I wonder why it is I don't argue like this with anyone but you. We do it all the time, blowing out my mind. You got this look I can't describe. You make me feel I'm alive when everything else is so fake. Without a doubt, you're on my side. Heaven has been away too long. Can't find the words to write this song of your love. Still I wonder why it is confused and in the dark. Now I understand. Yeah, yeah. I wonder why it is I don't argue like this with anyone but you. I wonder why it is I won't let my guard down for anyone but you. We do it all the time, blowing out my mind, just like a star across my sky, just like an angel off the page. You have appeared to my life, feel like I'll never be the same, just like a song in my heart, just like oil on my hand.
Hey? What? Has it gone quiet? It must be my turn. Corinne Bailey Ryder. Thank you for your proposal. Oh, this is a letter for you, whoever you are. For a TV talent contest to find a replacement for the drunken Irishman who masquerades as a breakfast DJ on Radio 2. We think the idea is a splendid one, although we might have to change the title. The first title, How Do You Solve a Problem Like Terry Wogan, caused several answers which were rude and only seemed to underline the basic pessimism of our time. The suggestion from one member of the focus group on how to solve this problem was to throw him off Beachy Head, but this was rejected on health and safety grounds. Second title, Any Old Twit Will Do, seems much better, as all we need is someone who can talk inane dribble and walk at the same time. Who says I could walk? I think any contestant from Big Brother could fill this post admirably. Thank you, Loose Morals. Love the Children in Need song from Joseph. I thought you might like to adapt it as the Wake Up to Wogan theme. You know we've got it for children in need, and it's going to make a ton of money for us. I chose my pies, looked at the feeling, and it was thrilling to see the view. Far away, someone was baking nice cakes for taking. Only cream will do. Everybody's going to cry now, aren't they? Even that little bird. Any sign of gnarled Barkley? Crazy.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much.
Crazy.
Since I was little, it looked like fun. If there's no coincidence, I've come. And I can die when I'm done. But maybe I'm crazy. Maybe you're crazy. Maybe we're crazy.
Okay, whenever you're ready, tell me. Hey, crazy. Now look, before I go, there's a lot of people to be thanked here. There's Steve and Julie Stannard, who are the reason we're here. Because they wanted to see Springwatch and paid us an awful lot of money for children in need, for the privilege, the doubtful privilege of watching Oddie and Katie. And thanks to Charles Nove and Becky Howarth in London, and the Whistle of the Balls, Ciara Minchin kept us going, and Bill Oddie and Kate Humble, and Mike Burgess, who's done all the work behind us here, and Ilse Lederman, and they're both from OB's in Bristol. And of course, Phil and Barrowlands. Everybody here making it work. I'm the only one doing no work at all. For God's sake. Ken Bruce is coming up next. Always something to look forward to here on Radio 2. I love you and leave you with the Foundations. We've had a wonderful morning here at Springwatch. Foundations. And baby, now that I've found you, oh Ken, don't you envy me?
Oh, it's going to be so awful for the next 2.5 hours not having that beautiful bird song in the background.
Well, actually, Frank and Stephen, he says congratulations to Ken Bruce for providing all of the animal sounds for your show this morning. The best one was the chipmunk impression I could hear in the background saying, "What's the recipe today, Jim?"
Oh, we haven't heard that round here. That's the lesser spotted young animal that we haven't heard for some time round these parts. However, you've provided a very good atmosphere over the airwaves, I must say, over the last 2 hours.
Well, I can tell you I'm drained.
Yeah, yes, well, you probably will
I'm
have to.
drained in this ditch.
Will you take a slingshot to that small bird, please? That's what it's called for. And well done for smuggling the budgies in as well.
I knew it was getting wet. I didn't think you'd have to resort to wearing that kind of thing.
You know, anything to stave off the evil day.
Very nice. Bit of a smell of goats about the studio this morning. Is that you?
I'm off to the abattoir now.
Barbara Dixon and her version of P.S. I Love You from a Beatles album, 12 tracks. That's her new album, Nothing's Gonna Change My World. Ray Anderson's album of the week this week, 13 minutes to 1 the time. David Hamilton is back. He is here, he's in person. I've seen him, he's in great shape, looking good. And, of course, he is everybody's best friend.
Down in sunny Bridget where you catch a wave, you find a surfing DJ named Diddy Dave, waxing down his board by the water's edge, with his little chamois and his can of pledge. Well, it's really shiny, all the girls all well. Did is gonna ride it till the sun goes down. Go, 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 Diddy, go, 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 Diddy, go, 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 Diddy, go, 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 Diddy, go, go, Diddy, go.
Okay, and I confess I do not know which top band filmed their pop video Frinton Beach next to your beach hut. But if I can't find a track by them, then we'll give you the point. 12-1 with Nirvana.
Travels on a cloud is one of the time people snow rain is low, over mountains high and low. I can talk to him, and I can love him.
And if you see and more again, then you will know and more again, for you can see you in her eyes. Then you feel your heart beating from bum bum bum. And when you've given all you had, and everything still turns out bad, and all your secrets are your own, then you feel your heart beating from bone